of all, do you agree that democracy is the best form of governance for the continent? And also, would you say that Nigeria has been very exemplary in leading, showing good democracy to the rest of the regional bloc?
Nigeria would be very good example. 200 million people, very good people like you. That you have very bad manners in elections. You steal elections. You fight. There is violence in elections. You have done very well. You change governments peacefully. People keep quiet. But time has come now. Watch this. People are not going to keep quiet anymore. Our younger generation is rising up. You bungle elections. You bungle elections. You don't do the elections transparently. I was in Nigeria myself.
Hello Nigerians, you're welcome back to this particular YouTube channel. I told you guys that Ahmed Bola Tinubu has completely, demarketed Nigeria at the global scale. Right now, Ahmed Bola Tinubu is the highest demarketer of Nigeria. In fact, the way other African countries are now seeing Nigerians, they now see us as a bunch of criminals, all thanks to APC government. You heard what that particular man said. That's an analyst from ECOWAS. Nigeria used to be regarded as the giants of Africa. In fact, other countries used to, learn from Nigeria. It is no longer the same. In fact, right now, Nigeria needs to go and learn from other African countries. That particular man, he was asked about democracy in Nigeria because Ahmed Bola Tinubu was actually re-elected as ECOWAS chairman once again, and he was asked about democracy in Nigeria, since democracy is one thing that ECOWAS is holding to a high esteem, and the man opened his mouth and finished Nigeria. In fact, he finished Ahmed Bola Tinubu. In fact, he said there is no democracy practiced in Nigeria. Nigeria is not practicing democracy in a country where elections are being rigged. He said that he was in Nigeria during election, and there were lots of malpractices during that particular election, of which we all can actually attest to that particular fact, that the 2023 general election held in Nigeria was never free nor fair election. And that is the impression we are making at the global scale, and even Africa at large. Other African countries are now seeing Nigeria as a place where elections are being manipulated, where hoodlums can just come and carry the ballot box and run away during election day. I'm going to allow you to listen to that particular man in full. But let me tell you something, that this particular Samoa deal is causing a serious trouble in the northern Nigeria. In fact, I pity Ahmed Bola Tinubu and his 2027 ambition, because the North are now coming out in full to express how disappointed they are after that news broke out on the internet that Ahmed Bola Tinubu has signed the Samoa deal, which includes the LGBTQ agreement, even when they have come out to say that no, they did not involve the LGBTQ part of the agreement. Yet the Northerners, especially their religious leaders, the imams, they actually had a press conference regarding this particular issue. Now I want you to listen to this particular press conference from Kaduna Council State of Imams, and when we come back, we just analyze the video.
The council vehemently condemns the Samoa deals as it relates to LGBT rights. The council views these deals as a grave affront to the religious and moral values and underpin Nigerian society. The council unequivocally states that such deals are fundamentally incompatible with the teachings of Islam and even Christianity and other religious practices in Nigeria, as well as with the nation's deeply rooted cultural and traditions. We call upon the legislature to reject any consideration of endorsement of these deals. These agreements threaten to erode the moral fabric of our society and are a direct violation of our religious and cultural principles. We urge the public to remain vigilant and to stand firm in defense of our values and culture.
Now, I believe you're listening to that particular statement. They have come out to condemn the LGBTQ and the Samoa deal, stating that it is against their religion and as well that of Christianity. But one problem I have with these Islamic clerics or northern religious leaders is that when important things arises and they need to talk about it, they will not. they will continue to talk about the irrelevant ones. These were the people who were actually deceived by the Muslim ticket. Now they are crying and they are condemning the actions of the Ahmed Bola Tinubu, their Muslim president and vice president. If they will always use this particular energy with which they used to condemn this Samoa deal, to condemn other actions of this particular government that are not favoring the masses, I believe that this government would sit up. Now, I want you to listen to this particular analyst, and when we come back, we'll just wrap up the video.
The charters of this organization. Yes.
I want us to talk about democracy, please.
Okay.
President Bola Tinubu has been very clear about democracy being the best option. I'm going to quote here. It says, democracy is a fundamental principle of ECOWAS, and it is essential to uphold it. Let's revisit the conversation about democracy. First of all, do you agree with that standpoint? Is it maybe... Okay, great. So it's a two-part question. All right.
Is the President Tinubu himself democratic?
Okay, can I quickly wrap up the question, please? So, first of all, do you agree that democracy is the best form of governance for the continent? And also, would you say that Nigeria has been very exemplary in leading, showing good democracy to the rest of the regional bloc?
Nigeria would be very good example. 200 million people, very good people like you, that you have very bad manners in elections. You steal elections. You fight. There is violence in elections. You have done very well. You change governments peacefully. People keep quiet. But time has come now. Watch this. People are not going to keep quiet anymore. Our younger generation is rising up. You bungle elections. You bungle elections. You don't do the elections transparently. I was in Nigeria myself as an observer, independently. I saw what happened. People run with boxes. What democracy are you talking about? A democracy, yes, pseudo. We have pseudo-democracy. And we have no military. But we don't have a democratic. What if you call democracy of Socrates, Aristotle? You don't have it. Not yet. No African country has reached that status, except a bit of South Africa, which is again going into chaos because of...
David, are you there with us?
Democracy. So
okay.
Africa must go back and find out, my sister, find out what type of democracy they want. What do you want? China 40 years ago, China was the poorest country on planet Earth, like a church mouse in the church watching the gifts by the churchgoers. But China today, it went back to the factory resetting. It says, what have we done wrong that we can do right now? Africa needs to go back and ask, is this type of Western democracy fit for us? Why do we waste money to change elections every 5 years, every 4 years in Nigeria, when we are going to kill each other? You have been talking of insecurity in Nigeria.
All right.
Every time you put on a television in Nigeria, you feel like you're crying tears. Okay. 200 girls taken, 20 girls stolen, 200 killed, a bomb in here.
David, I'm sorry to cut in here.
Now, I hope you heard what the man said. You saw how he finished Nigeria and Ahmed Bola Tinubu. Nigeria have bad manners in terms of election, all thanks to APC government. They promised us that they would organize a free and fair election, spend billions of naira, just to get us the beavers machines and the IREV. But at the end of the day, elections were rigged. Ballot boxes were snatched by hoodlums. Some people were disenfranchised. And other African countries were actually watching what was going on in Nigeria on that election day. Now look at how they are now seeing Nigeria. After APC government has actually done all these things to demarcate Nigeria, and somebody will now come and be telling me that we are demarcating Nigeria. Meanwhile, APC government has done everything within their means to, destroy this particular country. Our good names have now turned to bad name. Anyway guys, I'll stop this video here and allow you to drop your comments in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this.